What's poppin'? Welcome back to Midwest World's the Tubecast. You know what I'm saying? Here early in the morning on my way to work. So usually when I try to do these, you know what I mean? So make sure you like, subscribe, share the content. I really appreciate it from everybody. The subs growing, I always appreciate that. Appreciate the views. I appreciate it, period. Salute to everybody, you know what I'm saying? On this road to 1,000 subs, you know what I mean? So we getting there. So salute to everybody who's showing love. Straight up, greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Now, topic at hand. Y'all done heard me talk. Well, if you don't know, I mean, you check out. I play a lot live, and then you can check out previous Tubecasts where I talk about how EA can still compete. You know what I'm saying in this basketball space. Let's talk about Sony. Because I know 989 doesn't exist. I believe it's just all like under just the Sony, but I don't know who absorbed 989, but I know it's under Sony. I do know that, you know what I'm saying? If they, whatever the case is, right? Because I believe, the same, well, I don't think it's the exact same team that developed the show, but they was under the same umbrella from what I understand. I could be wrong, but either way it goes, that was a Sony situation when it comes to the NBA series. Now y'all can come back. They can come back and do something, right? Because the NBA series was unique. It was unique. Was it perfect? No, but none of the games was trash in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I reviewed all of them. I will be going back to NBA 09 and all that stuff on the PS3 because, like I said, my sound input is working better. I believe it's because I got a better capture card, honestly. You know what I mean? The cheaper capture card I had wasn't outputting sound on certain games, so it could be due to that, but I got an official capture card now, so I know the sound was working and stuff. So be looking out for the story mode in the NBA 09 on the PS3 because, that's not tied in with what's on the PS2. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we going to stay tuned for that. But the NBA series, they had something going unique, period. You know what I'm saying? All these games did really like Inside Drive, but we're going to talk about Microsoft separately. We're going to talk about Sony today. The NBA series was unique. They introduced the story mode. Okay? They introduced it. From what I understand, I've not seen nobody. Now, NBA Ballers Phenom had a story mode, right? They did. You know what I'm saying? You walking around and all that. I remember Phenom story mode. So they actually had a story mode where you walking around and all that. You know what I mean? I just haven't played it in a while, but I will play through the Phenom for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned for that. You know what I mean? Because they did have a story mode, so I want to give them their credit too. But as far as NBA Sim, NBA started that in 06. Well, obviously it came out in 05, but it's titled 06. And from what I understand, you know what I mean, you can take your player from game to game. That's dope. That's dope. Now, did 2K bite from them? I mean, you could say, it's hard to say they didn't. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say they didn't. They started the story. 2K first story mode was in 2K14 on the next gen, right? Not because my player wasn't really necessarily a story mode like that. You just had decisions. They bought that story out once we got to the Xbox One and PS4. You know what I mean? So NBA 09 had that story mode, dog. Then they had the skills challenge, if you remember. You actually had the skills challenge mini game in that game. You know what I'm saying? So on the PSP at least. So NBA 09 or the NBA series has some stuff there. Okay, they had TNT presentation and all of that. They was doing their thing. Like, I would have loved to see where they have been at this point. Because if you go back and play NBA 09, that game still look, to me it looked good. It's not ugly in that. Like, the game, like, there was some good things about that game, dog. You know what I'm saying? fire stuff about, like, so I'm not saying they could beat 2K because it's too hard to do that. Like 2K's on the floor product is too official. You know what I'm saying? And that's what happened when you consistent. When you consistent, you know, they done mastered the art of basketball on the hardwood digitally. 2K did. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know some may feel differently about it. You know what I'm saying? Once again, VC ruins a lot. But on the floor product is official. No game is perfect, but on the floor product is official. So due to the fact that the NBA series haven't been out since 2009, it's a long time, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they will have some catching up to do, but they brought something unique to the game, you know what I'm saying? And I would love to see what and they can be multiplex. You gotta think about it, the show's not multiplex. That's not just PlayStation no more. But I think the MLB has something to do with that. I think the MLB, from what I understand, now I could be wrong here, so none of this is facts. Allegedly, or I'm not saying it's not facts, I'm not saying it is. Allegedly, MLB wanted that multiplayer. It wasn't Sony who wanted that, it was MLB who wanted that because they wanted more people to play their game, from what I understand. You know what I'm saying? That's what I understand the case to be. You know, so I don't, you know, hey, it is what it is, you know what I mean? But I think NBA could come back and do something. Now, would they initially out the gate move units? I don't know, because people complain about 2K so much. I think at this point, any NBA game that drop simulation, just off people's frustration of 2K might at least, you know what I'm saying, like at least they gonna at least sell over a couple million easy. If done right, like initially. You know what I'm saying? I think that initially, you know, if someone come out, especially a familiar face though, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if it'd have to be probably one of the previous competitors, you know what I'm saying? Not just some random, you know what I'm saying, cats. Maybe somebody random could come out and do something. I don't know, you know what I mean? But I would think it'd have to be like in the zone or something, or a shootout or something, you know what I'm saying? Or even the NBA series, if they come back and announce a comeback or something like that, then, you know, I think they can do some numbers off rip. I think, especially if it's multi-plat, I think that they'll do numbers just off people's frustration alone. You know what I mean? Like off the rip. And I say a couple million because, I mean, you got to think about 2K move units. So there'd be a couple million just getting that off rip. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to try this out. Then if they don't like it, then they going to get on the internet and start cooking it. You know what I'm saying? But I think that NBA could come back and do some things for sure. You know what I'm saying? Now, they brought the story out first. So if they came out with story mode, they wouldn't be biting. Now, you'll have some people sitting there saying like, oh, they copying off 2K. Nah, they had this story mode first on some NBA sim stuff. So that's they stuff. So if they come out with a story mode, it's not no copycat stuff. They did that already. You know what I'm saying? So, but, you know, folks have to do their research and know and all that. And you got to understand, you know, their last game was 2009. So you got some people that's playing 2K that never even heard of the NBA series. Never even, at least those people, the later 2K players heard of Live, because Live at least was out a little bit here and there, you know what I'm saying? But they never heard of the NBA series probably. So they probably would think that, nah, they biting off 2K. No. NBA did this first, you know what I mean? So I would love to see what type of story they can bring to the game. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see whatever gameplay improvements they have, or they would have. I mean, you know, due to the fact that the game has been out so long, I would think they'll want to, I would say play it safe. I'm always with the play it safe. You know what I'm saying? Like, use that old engine you have and polish that up. You know what I'm saying? Then do upgrades. You know what I'm saying? Because if you haven't did it in so long, you don't want to, you know, be out there, you know, screwing up and things like that. So it's like, all right, you take that NBA 09 engine, You know what I'm saying? You make them graphics up to PS5 and Series X, up to that par, right? You know what I'm saying? Up to that level. Then, you change certain things, like as far as like, the foot planning and things like that. Get them signature shots. Don't do nothing too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Keep it fluid and smooth. You still gonna have some certain issues, but you go in the game and do that. You know what I'm saying? Keep that engine, change up that foot planning. You know what I mean? Get them some signature shots. You know what I'm saying? Upgrade them graphics to PS5 and series level. You know what I mean? I think they'll be fine. You know what I'm saying? And then you build from that. Because the fact of the matter is, haven't been out for well over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I mean, you got catching up to do. So I will go back to the old engine and just for some familiarity, and then, build off of that. You know what I'm saying? Just on some playing it safe. Ain't nothing wrong with playing it safe. Because you don't want to not play it safe, put out, develop this whole new engine, all this type of stuff, and then not move enough units. You know what I'm saying? So you want to go back to what you already have, clean that up, you know what I'm saying, then put that out, and then, boom, there it is, and then you start working on something new. Because the fact, like I said, you haven't been out in a long time, you know what I mean? So, and you want to keep some familiarity there, you know what I mean? So that's what I would do personally, you know what I mean? They could do have a dope franchise mode. They already had a franchise mode in 09. It was cool. Like I said, we gonna hit the NBA 09 series on PS3, so stay tuned. But yeah, that put a nice in-depth franchise mode. Their creative player was already dope. They just gotta update that a little bit. They had some nice hairstyles. I mean, all that. I mean, their creative player was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? They had some good things going on in there when it comes to updating your player. And it wasn't on no VC stuff. All you had to do was play the game. So you play the game, and then you able to add, attributes to your player and stuff. And it was fair. All you had to do was just play the game. You know what I'm saying? You play it, you get points, boom, add to your player. I like that. You know what I'm saying? I rather you have a system like that other than paying for coins. You know what I'm saying? Just play the game. You play our game, your player gets better. It's just that simple. I think that's a perfectly fine system. You know what I'm saying? I would like to think no one would have a problem with that. But then again, you know what I'm saying? People want that 99 quick. You know what I'm saying? They want to come out the gate with it quick. You know what I mean? So maybe you would have some that have an issue with that. They'll be like, yo, man, why can't I just buy attribute points and all that? You know what I'm saying? You might have some that feel that way. But NBA had a pretty good system of how they did it in 09 when you create your player, and then you can play the game and then edit attributes, and then you can buy accessories, all that, you know what I'm saying? But it's not hard to do. Just play the game. You know what I'm saying? And there it is. So if they clean up that franchise mode, have a deep franchise mode, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the key. Have a deep franchise mode and things like that. As far as online goes, the main key about online is making sure that your servers is good. That's the first and foremost. Before the modes, you make sure them servers is tight. You know what I'm saying? Them servers is key. Then you worry about the modes. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as the online and what 2K has done with the online, man, listen, people got a lot of catching up to do, man, because that hub they have there, they got their own little world there. You know what I'm saying? 2K's, My Park, whatever you want to call it, My Park, and then the boat on the passenger system. Now, that's not something I dive into, but that's his own world over there. And they got a community over there, all that. So trying to compete with them on that level is going to be very difficult. So I would my whole thing would be, look, make sure the server's on point. Make sure you have your basics on point, tournaments and things like that, online seasons. Just give them the basics right now, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to be able to penetrate that. That's too official over there, you know what I'm saying? Even though they servers bad for not understanding everything, it don't matter. They got too much stuff going on over there, you know what I mean, to try to compete with that, you know what I mean? So you just got to make sure little by little, baby steps, make sure your server's on point and give them the basic modes. Your online quick play, your online season or franchise modes, things like that. You know what I'm saying? Even if they got their own like little card stuff, because everybody got them at this point. So if they got their own little system, you got baseball, they got, is it called Diamond Dynasty or something? They got something where they got their card game, or their cards. They're Madden, you know what I'm saying? A Madden Ultimate Team. And you got 2K My Team. NBA can have their own version. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they want to call it, they can have their own version of that. So you can have that up in there. You know what I'm saying? And, you could do something like that. But that My Park thing, they 2K got that on lock. All right, so shoot, that you know what I mean? So. But they could do something like a My Team kind of situation. So they can have the game full-fledged. They can have the game full-fledged. They could compete. Now, with the NBA losing, with the NBA, TNT, inside the NBA is going to ESPN next year. So I don't know. I don't know if the NBA is going to be broadcast on TNT anymore. I don't know if that's the case, or if it's going to be TNT with it. Sponsored by ESPN. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if inside the NBA it's leaving TNT. I just know ESPN got that now. So I don't know if it's still going to be on TNT or not. I have no idea. Because them details is strange, man, to be honest. So, but, I don't know if they can have the TNT broadcast. You right? But, so I don't know how that, as far as the broadcast, or what type of broadcast they have, I don't know how that'll work. You know what I mean? Because EA has the ESPN. Live have the ESPN. That's part of EA. They've had it for a long time. So I don't know what type of. They'll probably have to go generic with it. You know what I'm saying? They had to go generic with it. But they could do something though, because 2K, they got a cold. You know what I'm saying? They got a cold presentation, you know what I mean? And they don't have ESPN, TNT, and nothing like that. So they could just do some generic stuff and make sure you get some dope announcers. You know what I'm saying? You don't need the ESPN or TNT to make it dope. You can get some announcers to do this and to have some cold presentation. You can mimic what's on the TV, you know what I'm saying? It just it don't have to be, the real deal. The real deal is a good sweetener though, you know what I'm saying? Having a real ESPN on your screen is a good sweetener. Having a real deal TNT is a good sweetener, but you don't need it if you have your presentation on point. You know what I'm saying? You don't need it. You know what I mean? So you can get creative with it, have your own thing. So I would say, and they're pretty good with it. So I would just say, just get creative. Get some announcers, you know what I'm saying? Get some official announcers. There's a lot of dudes out here you can get. You know what I mean? To do play-by-play calling in your game. You know what I mean? Make sure you have a dope halftime show, right? You know what I mean? It don't have to be in-studio stuff. You can just make sure they show all the dope replays, the top clips, things like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot they could do. NBA, I think if they came back, I think that, and if they just play it safe, but add on what they had with 09, I think folks will receive it well. I do. I think so, because they want something else. You know what I mean? They already got the story, so had a 3 branch of stories. I would say, at this point, branch it off to 5. Point guard, shooting guard, small 4, power forward, center. You have a story for each position. You know what I'm saying? Do it like that. You know what I mean? That's something unique right there. That's a lot of replay value right there. Then franchise mode, for sure. Deep franchise mode. You see what MLB The Show is doing. So if you do something as deep as that, you good money right there. Have like a My Team kind of situation. Shoot, you see MLB, they doing their thing with the storylines. You know what I'm saying? Negro leagues and all kind of stuff. So it's not like the NBA can't do nothing like that. The NBA series can come out and do some stuff like that. So they doing their thing with their storylines. So I mean, the NBA series can come back and do something dope with the stories. You know what I mean? So, that's always available to do. You know what I mean? One of the keys to gameplay, but like I said, if they went back to that old engine and just fix that foot planting and not have all that doggone sliding, make sure you got some realistic foot planting there and get us some signature shots. That's what I would change. Foot planting and signature shots. You know what I mean? because the gameplay was already fluid. You know what I'm saying? You know, obviously you want to fix up the defense, things like that. You know, small things, it's small but big changes. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna feel different, right? You know, but you want your fluidity there. You know what I'm saying? Get them all signature shots, get them some good foot planting. You know, signature styles. I wouldn't even say try to go in and get them all signature styles because that's hard to do. You know what I mean? So you want to evolve into that, but you can give them signature shots though. You can get somebody to come in and do mocap with signature shots. You don't even need the real players. You just gotta get guys that know, you know what I'm saying, how to emulate the shots real well and do that. You know what I mean? They do that, hey, I think they'll be straight. You know what I'm saying? They'll be straight. Because the game already looked dope on the PS3. It's not like it looked bad. You know what I'm saying? It already looked dope. You know what I mean? So I'm not worried about them with graphics. You look how MLB The Show look. You know, people talk about how, oh, that game, MLB The Show is one of the best looking sports games, period. You know what I'm saying? MLB The Show is one of the best looking sports games, period. So I'm not worried about them in the graphic department. You know what I'm saying? They'll be just fine. I think they could compete with 2K as far as the visual look. You could probably say, you know, on the visual side, you know what I mean, if NBA came out and made it happen, they probably would be looking better. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, they graphics be on point, dog. Like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You see the show for yourself. Look at that game look fire. You know what I'm saying? It's comparable to 2K. Those are probably the two best looking sports titles out. MLB The Show and NBA 2K. They probably got the best looking graphics. I mean, college football look good now too, and Madden. So, but I still think that crown goes to, well, WWE 2K look fire. They look fire. UFC, I mean, it's so many good looking sports games, but I think the top is MLB and then the NBA 2K, straight up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so I think they could come back and do something. I would like to see them come back to NBA series. I don't know what they'd call it, but I mean, I think they'd do just fine. They just have to have, you know, their NBA license is serious, but I don't see why Sony wouldn't be able to. Sony, they don't just make games, you know, they got TVs and all kind of stuff. So I mean, I don't know. I would like to think they big enough to be able to get the NBA license and make a game out of it. A company like that and Microsoft. But we're gonna talk about Inside Drive though. We're gonna talk about Inside Drive. So I'm thinking like at least those two juggernaut companies can acquire the NBA license or pay the NBA what they want to make a game. At least they can, you know what I'm saying? So I would love to see them come back. I think they'll do just fine. They're not gonna move as many units, you know what I'm saying? They're not gonna move, you know, 2K units out the gate, but I think, you know, if they come back and do those things, I think they'll be fine. I think that'd be a good alternative. I think that'll like, okay, 2K would be like, hold on, because you need competition. Point blank, period. You need it. You wouldn't have had the WNBA if it wasn't for live. I don't care what nobody say. WNBA would not be in live. I mean, 2K if it wasn't for live. It wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? And I mean sim-wise, because the WNBA was featured in NBA Live 09 on the Wii, okay, on some arcade stuff, and you had some WNBA and NBA Street Home Court. You know what I mean? So they always been kind of sprinkling the love to WNBA, but not full-fledged like that. But 2K, like, hold on, and they did it way better. Gave you a whole franchise. They pretty much put their own game in the NBA 2K, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? So you would probably never have seen that if it wasn't for live. That's what competition does. You know what I'm saying? It makes it makes the other one step their game up. Whether they want to admit that or not, they don't have to admit it. You know what I'm saying? I don't expect them to admit it. But come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. We're not gonna play these games, man. Like, you would not have seen that if it wasn't for you wouldn't have seen it. I know you wouldn't have. So, I mean, I don't think you would have seen stories if it wasn't for the NBA series. I don't think 2K would have did. I don't care what nobody says, dog. I don't think 2K would have stories in their game if it wasn't for the NBA series. They looked at that like, yeah, let's go ahead and we gon'. And there's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, There's nothing wrong with being inspired by somebody else. There's nothing wrong with it. That's why you need competition. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? You know, okay, cool. Now let's make it happen. Now we can compete. Okay, you don't. That's what competition does, dog. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with being inspired by the other person. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Like, okay, I didn't think of that. All right, I'm about to go ahead. Yeah, you know what I mean? That's a good idea. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, you know, now if you sit there and take it and act like it's your own, you know what I'm saying? Then there's something wrong with that. But hey, you know, like I said, the stories came from NBA first, all right? And 2K took it. And that is it is what it is. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The WNBA came from Live first and 2K took it. But they capitalized off it. They did a good job. So I mean, it is what it is. So I mean, so I would like to see NBA come back. Hopefully they come back. If they come back, I think they'll do just fine. They're not gonna move many units. I think they'll do just fine though. You know what I mean? If they stick with it, you know what I'm saying? And you know, I would love to see that specific company come back, or that specific game come back and make a little noise, you know what I'm saying? You know, and then like I said, more competition puts pressure on them to stop that VC, or at least make the grind realistic. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you like, subscribe, share the content. Really appreciate it from everybody. Peace.